Hello, in this video we are going to go over the setup of the BroadSim. When you take your BroadSim out of the box, set it on a flat surface or in the rack to begin setup. Ensure that the cables on the back of your unit are secure. Ensure that the internal-external switch on the CDM5 is in the internal position. If you are using the BroadSim with an external timing source such as the secure sync, then make sure it is in the external position. For more information on this configuration, reference the Quick Start Guide. Connect any accessories such as mouse or keyboard, any peripherals like that, to the back in your USB ports. This will make it easier when the unit is turned around later on. You'll still have access to the front ports in order to do things like upload software or upload any programs that you might have. Next, we are going to take a look at the unit itself. So on the sides, you will see the mounting brackets, and then we'll start from the left to the right. You can see your power switch. This is so that you can switch the power on and off while it is mounted in a rack rather than having to use the back power switch. You will also see your status LEDs, and next to that you will see your reset button in case you need to reset the BroadSim. Then you will see your USB ports. These USB ports are helpful if you have to plug something into the front or if you are going to be using scripts that you have developed on a BroadSim Solo or on another BroadSim. You can use these ports to plug those scripts into your BroadSim. You also have a DVD drive. This DVD drive will be used if you need to load software or if you have a CD that you'd like to put in there. Below your DVD drive, you will see two trays. These are for your SSDs. One SSD is your OS, as I mentioned, the top one, and the bottom SSD is for your maps drive. You can open and remove these at any point. And then lock them with the key that is included in the accessory kit. Next, we will look at the back of the unit. On the back of the unit, you will see the silver cables that I talked about referenced on the BOM. Ensure that these silver cables are secure. You will see also the CDM5. You will see your two GPUs, and then you will see your 4 DTA 2115 radios. You will also see your Trenton computer on the side where you will see your on-off switch and your AC power. On the right, you will see your 2 USB ports. This is where you will plug in any peripherals such as a mouse or keyboard. You will also see 2 Ethernet ports. One is your Ethernet port and one is your RC port, your remote control port. Ensure that the silver flex cables on your BroadSim are secure. Then you can plug in your monitor. You have to plug your monitor into the HDMI cable of the first GPU from your CDM5. Also ensure that your CDM5 is in the internal position. There is an internal and external position. To use your BroadSim on its own, use the internal position, int. And if you're going to use it with an external timing source, such as our secure sync, then you'll want to be in the external position. If you'd like more information on this configuration, please reference the Quick Start Guide. Next, we are going to connect our RF cables. You'll connect your RF cables to each of the DTA 115 radios. Next, we will connect the attenuators to the 4-to-1 combiner. We will connect them to the inner ports. In a later video, we will discuss the reasoning for this. These are connected to the GNSS ports to allow for a larger range in your jamming and spoofing. Next, we'll connect each of these ports to our radios. Make sure you line up which are which, so you'll go from left to right. Next, we will connect the last one to the S port of our GNSS signal combiner. You can then plug that one into your receiver. I have a receiver here that I'll use to plug in. This is where you can also plug in any other units of test that you have. The 4-way combiner that is included in the BroadSim kit is DC blocked, but if you are using another combiner, you will need to DC block in another way. Lastly, we will plug in the AC power cable. Once you've done this, you can power the unit on and you are ready to go. Now is a good time to connect any peripherals that you might want to add to the back of your unit. I like to plug in my mouse and keyboard into the back of my unit in these 2 USB ports so that I can use the front USB ports to do other things like load scripts or programs. Thank you for joining us in this video. In our next video, we will talk about the BroadSim OS. Please join us in that video and in our series of BroadSim videos to see more about our BroadSim product. If you need any help, please contact us at our support email, or please reference the BroadSim user manual. Thank you. Please join us in that video and in our series of